Now I know some of the bigger YouTubers have already had a chance to take a look at one of these bad boys, but today I'm going to be taking a look at the new Honor 400 Lite. I'm going to be whipping it out of the box, going through the setup process and going through some of the unique features of this phone ahead of my full review. Definitely get subscribed if you want to see my full review. That will definitely be coming over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, let's whip the phone out of the box and see what it's about. Okay, so here is the new Honor 400 Lite, just released here in the UK. You can pick it up for around 250 quid. And I've picked it up with 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and I've picked it up in velvet grey. So let's just cut the tabs, hopefully not chopping my finger off. There we go. And then let's lift the lid, and there is the Honor 400 Lite on top. Looking quite nice. Pop that aside. And then underneath, you just get a packet with your paperwork and USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and then you get a SIM pin underneath. And that is your lot. So here is the phone in velvet grey. Here the front, and there we have the Honor 400 Lite. Pre-applied screen protector as usual. Let's just quickly power on. She's quite lightweight actually, nice flat edges, quite a slim phone actually. 7.3mm thick, so a nice slim profile. On the right you've got your volume rocker and your power button, and then your iPhone-like camera control button, which we'll have a look at in a minute. No side-mounted fingerprint scanner, as there's one built into the display. So we'll quickly just go through the setup process. Let's get started in English. United Kingdom. Agree to the terms that no one ever reads. Continue. Add a Wi-Fi network. Click continue. And then getting the phone ready. Starting with 53% battery, which is fine, plenty to get you all set up and ready. So then obviously it gives you the option to copy your apps and your data. I won't be doing that. I'll be setting it up as a brand new phone. This is the bit that's a little bit time consuming, getting all your info set up. So just put in your Google information. And then once you've done that, it gives you the option if you'll be using it yourself or setting it up on site for a kid. I'll be using this device. Select next. And then again, it will just sort out your account information. And then you've just got the usual accepting, I won't back up yet, all the Google terms, etc. Choose your search engine, Google, set as default. Gemini information, I won't set that up just yet, but of course you can set that up during your setup process. Data and privacy, information. I will allow that. I won't put in my Honor ID just yet, but I do have an Honor ID, which I will put in at some point. We'll set that up later in settings. No thanks. So then it gives you the option to select your lock options, so fingerprint ID, face recognition, or set up password. I think this is a good opportunity to test out the in-display fingerprint scanner. Just set a pin, add fingerprint, etc. So let's just set it up. You do get a bit of haptic feedback each time it registers, and you do of course have to move your finger around a little bit. So this is a nice upgrade over the side-mounted fingerprint scanner found on the old Honor 200 Lite, a phone that I also really liked. I've got a review and unboxing on that if you want to check that out as well. Just keep wiggling your thumb around just to get all parts of the fingerprint. Click OK. We'll set up face unlock later if you want to, of course. Google enhanced services will enable those. User experience will join that later. Enable location services, of course that's for your maps. And then you've got the option to set gestures or 3 keys if you don't get on with the gestures. I'm going to keep it like that. And you can go through a tutorial as well if you really want to. And I will just click finish. And then it will eventually set up, and that is your Honor 400 Lite out of the box. Let's just quickly turn down the brightness a little bit. It's not too bad on the video recording screen. So there is your Honor 400 Lite out of the box. No apps tray out of the box, so you've got to swipe to the left to get the rest of your apps. But that'll be one of the first things I do, is to go into settings, home screen and style, home screen style, and I will add an apps drawer. And then it will take a second or two and just sort everything out, and there it is. So that's the apps that you get out of the box. A few preloaded bits and bobs. So you've got Block Blast, Game, Game Center. They got their own music player, My Honor, Temu is on there, Trip.com and Booking.com. Not quite sure why you need both. Facebook, etc. But apart from that, I mean, of course, there's a few of Honor's own apps like their themes, their own contacts, calculator, etc. So there's a few bits and bobs on there. Now, of course, up here, you get your selfie camera, which is a 16 megapixel selfie camera at f2.5. And of course, like on previous Honor devices, no, not that way, you can also use that as a dynamic island type thing. So we'll just quickly set a timer for 3 minutes, press start, swipe up, and it gives you the timer up the top there. And that's good for, gives you charging notifications and for playing music as well. And then you can click on that to open it, pause it, or you can just turn it off completely as well. It's quite intuitive, not quite as intuitive, of course, as the actual dynamic island on the iPhones, but it's not too bad. So performance on the Honor 400 Lite is the MediaTek Dimensity 7025 Ultra, and that's built on a 6nm architecture. It gives you pretty basic performance. It's not going to be the worst in the world, of course, but if you're an intense gamer or something like that, it's not going to give you the best performance. I'm not really one anymore, I don't think, for showing Geekbench scores, because I'm becoming less and less bothered by them. But all you need to know is it'll be absolutely fine opening all your bits and bobs. Absolutely fine. Everything's pretty responsive. Obviously, I'm having to set up, so to speak, all of these apps. But yeah, everything's pretty instant. You're not going to have to wait too long for much to happen. And then you can swipe to the right. Oh look, there we go. On a 400 and 400 Pro to feature a 200 megapixel camera, which is pretty cool. On a 400 Lite, 5230 milliamp hour battery, which is nice. Oh look, it's even demonstrating what I'm about to demonstrate, which is interesting. So while we're doing that then, let's have a go. Let's just quickly check out the selfie camera before we get on to the star of the show. So if I flip it round, no, flip it, oh, for God's sake. Flip it round, hit portrait mode. There we go. And that's the photo from the selfie camera. And then of course, let's try using that main camera. Let's move my little calendar thing there. Let's try and do it from above. So you can use it, of course, as an actual shutter, but you can swipe to zoom. You can swipe right out to the ultra wide. It's pretty good, to be fair. I mean, considering Apple was the first to adopt it, and of course other brands are naturally going to copy, but you can get a very similar experience on a 250 quid phone. It's pretty good. And then of course, like I said, you can use it as a shutter button as well. And then the photos coming from here are of course not going to be the best from that 108 megapixel sensor. And then you've just got an 5 megapixel ultra wide, which naturally isn't going to be a great ultra wide. I do wish Honor upgraded their ultra wides just to give you a bit more resolution. But of course, more photo samples will be coming in my full review. Let's close all those and then just have another little quick look at the rest of the design. So it's a dual camera setup. It's not a triple. You've got your LED flash under there. It's quite a nice design and with a bit of branding underneath. Nice slim profile. So you've got you've got your SIM tray at the bottom there. There's no provisions for a micro SD card, but 256 gigs should be enough for most people, I think. 8 gigs of RAM on this base model, but you can get 12 gigs of RAM. And then, before I forget, which I shouldn't forget, let's turn the brightness back down again. System and updates, check for an update. Checking. MagicOS 9.0. So we're up to date with that. And then if I just go about phone, and we are running Android 15. 8 gigs of RAM plus an extra 8 gigs if you want to, 1080p display. So yeah, overall so far it's looking like a really nice phone, nice and lightweight. But I will be dropping a full review on this. This is just a taster of what the phone looks like and how it feels and what it's like out of the box. Definitely get subscribed if you want to see my full review. So far, it's looking like a pretty decent phone. So that's a very quick unboxing, setup and first impressions of the Honor 400 Lite. Seems pretty good so far, but of course I will be dropping a full review in a couple of weeks after I've had a chance to play around with it a little bit more. But let me know down in the comments what you think of this phone so far. Drop a subscribe on this video if you enjoyed it and if you want to see more. Check out my Honor 200 Lite videos on my channel as well. And I'll see you ready for the full review.